Hi guys, welcome to One Wayfinder. Today I'm going to talk about a strategy that will absolutely start to change your life, and probably if you continue to do it, it will continuously make you feel like your life is better. But before I get started on that, just wanted to mention that in the last video, I had mentioned that I was really excited to do this because I am overcoming some of my fears about doing a podcast and also healing through sharing with you guys some of my personal stories, speaking my truth that speak to trauma and different things. But anyway, I'm having healing through that. And in the video, I mentioned that I'm looking forward to having a new studio one day. And so I am in my new studio. And it's kind of a joke, but I'm in a new location, and the best place for me to do this is in front of two doors. So I started to try to weave a way to feel positively about that. So I came up with like Price is Right, door one or door two kind of thing in my mind. I don't know if I'll get like labels like door one, door two. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I didn't want to put off any longer coming on here and sharing some strategies with you guys again, because it is healing for me, and I'm hopeful that it's helpful for some of you. So today I want to talk about something that will change your life if you choose to do it, and I call it think about what you think about. And it is one of those things that you can kind of miss if you're constantly just letting the wheels turn in your mind, and you're thinking through things, so you're kind of like talking to yourself while you're thinking through things that happen. How do you feel about something? Did you handle it the right way, or like someone else, do you think someone else is being a jerk or whatever it is? Okay, right? Like you have this whole almost like dialogue going on with yourself in your head. So my recommendation is to start listening to that a little bit more, sort of being this more conscious observer of the conversations that you're having with yourself inside your head. And there are a couple pieces to that. One is, what are you saying to yourself? So if you're saying things to yourself like, I am not doing a great job with this, or maybe that's a self-reflection that's fair, or maybe it's not. You might say like, I look horrible today, and in fact you don't look horrible, but you say these things to yourself regularly, right? It's a pattern, it repeats, and it doesn't matter whether you look great or not, you just continuously say these things to yourself. I don't, oh, my hair, whatever it is. If it's negative, I want you to stop. Stop yourself dead in your tracks, okay? Stop there and say something positive. You can say something unrelated, like if you say, like, I don't. I don't look great today, and it's really because your makeup didn't turn out well. You could say, I love my hair. Or you can say, I am beautiful. I am beautiful. Okay, maybe my makeup, you can think, maybe my makeup didn't turn out so great, but I'm beautiful. So does it matter if my makeup doesn't look that good today or whatever? But what I want you to really do is start thinking about what you are saying to yourself and saying something positive. You stop saying something negative, say something positive, and then you will find that the more positively you speak to yourself, the more positively you feel about yourself. The same thing goes for negative, right? The more negatively you speak about yourself, the more negatively you feel about yourself, and then you continue to say negative things about yourself, and it's just like a rabbit hole that you go down. So it's really your choice. You can choose to go down the rabbit hole of saying positive things to yourself, or you can go down the rabbit hole of saying negative things to yourself. Another piece of listening to and thinking about what you think about is actually also reflecting on or thinking about and looking at what you also say along with, okay, so to give an example, let's say something happens, you say, and you perceive it a certain way. Then do you go on to like add to that? Do you go down a rabbit hole of like, oh, well, Johnny uh, is always a jerk because his wife is nagging him and is, like, do you go down this whole thing of like almost like make up extra parts of the story that you either don't have to do or that you do regularly, right? So now you're sending yourself down this like rabbit hole of creating a whole new situation out of something that didn't actually happen. Now, that may sound unfair. It's unfair, I would say, if you if you see something that happens with people that you're talking to, um, and you're dealing with regularly and you see patterns, okay? If there's patterns, it's fair to say, okay, well, Johnny is always acting like a jerk. He's not managing his own. Now, then you say to yourself, should I be around Johnny right now? Maybe I should take a break from Johnny. Maybe I should have a conversation with Johnny and say, hey, what's going on with you? Is there something I can help you with? Or do you just limit your time with Johnny? Do you create a boundary? So my point being is that we can often take a situation and make it into something that it is not, or neglect to um, empower ourselves by really evaluating, is this a pattern, is this a trend, and then do I need to set up boundaries around this, right? It all sounds so simple. You're probably saying, I don't know why I'm watching this video. This is so simple. I already do this. I'm going to challenge you. I'm really going to challenge you right now and say, but do you really? But do you really? Do you stop saying negative things to yourself and turn them to positive? And do you stop adding on to stories and really evaluate one, your own behavior within that situation, and then two, what else is going on that you're adding on to in the story, um, or that generally always does happen with these particular people. So is it an add-on that I made up, or is it a trend in behavior? Um, and now should I do something about that? And the reason why thinking about what you think about is so important is because it's empowering, right? Because now you can take action. You can think about these things and you can actually take action. And you might say to yourself, wait a second, what happened at work? There was nothing I could have done differently. I couldn't have responded differently. This, the way I perceive it, that's how it happened. Again, like, does that person always behave that way? Is there some way that you can respond differently in that situation? The idea being is that when you start to think about what you think about, you can change it. And then you can also look at your own behavior and how you can manage the way that you're responding, or you can also manage the way that you set up boundaries, and the way that you relate with people. And it's empowering. The flip side to that is that you don't choose to do this, and the downside to that is that it's disempowering. So a lot of times when we feel like we can't take any action on something, we then feel frustrated, we feel fearful, we feel sometimes like we're in a mental prison, right? Because being empowered and taking action is freeing, and then being disempowered, feeling fearful, feeling like you're in this mental prison, you've gone down this rabbit hole, you're overthinking something, and now it feels almost like I'm going to say it like bondage. Now you're stuck in this thought process and you're literally letting it spiral out of control, rather than feeling like you can do something about it. So, my point with this is please think about what you're thinking about so that you can feel empowered to take action, so that you can speak to yourself kindly, be nice to yourself, and nurture yourself. Because when you do that, you actually build yourself up so that your heart feels better, you feel centered, and you feel more empowered to be able to take on the world. I kind of liken it to, you guys have seen in my other videos, some of you. Um, Pedro is on that dynamic balancing instrument, right? Like you can't really like pop him off. You can like, he has experiences different things in his life, but he's always like got one leg on that instrument. But the other way to think about it is like if you're on, a stormy seas, right? You're on the ocean. Are you on this massive ship and just like powering through the storm? Or are you on this dinghy and constantly getting like thrown about and even tossed off the dinghy and trying to get back on the dinghy, right? Like in the middle of a storm on the ocean, which wouldn't be fun. Anyway, so I guess those would be your choices. So you can choose either door one, where you can walk through door one, have some level of self accountability, feel empowered, and feel some level of freedom because you feel empowered to take action. Or you can go through door two, which is a closet. So you can actually curl up in the closet if you want to, and choose not to feel empowered, and choose to stay in your mental prison. I've been there. Catch myself now so that I'm not doing that. But it's no fun to go down. You can stay in your mental prison. And in this closet is where you're more likely to self medicate, maybe even self sabotage, right? Like do some behaviors or choose some actions based on your rabbit hole perception that makes the situation entirely worse for you. So now you've sabotaged yourself in the situation. So here's a closet. You can climb in that if you want. I'm personally choosing to continue to go through door number one. Join me if you'd like. Anyway, I love you guys and I will talk to you soon.